So let's talk about one of the heavyweights of philosophy, Aristotle. Look, if you've ever picked up one of his books and felt totally lost, trust me, you are not alone. And today, we're going to break down how you can actually tackle his work without getting a headache.
I mean, does this ring a bell? You crack open a book like the Nicomachean Ethics, you're a few pages in, and poof, the thread is just gone. It's a super common feeling, and believe me, there's a really good reason for it.
Okay, I love this quote. It just nails the feeling, right? It's like walking into the middle of a movie. The ideas aren't necessarily impossible to get, it's just that you feel like you've missed the first half hour. But hey, don't worry, we're about to get you caught up. All right, so let's get into it. What is it that makes reading Aristotle such a unique challenge? Because, figuring out why it's hard is the first step to making it easy. So, you're up against a few things. First, his sentences are, wow, they're dense, just packed with meaning. Then you've got these arguments that kind of loop back on themselves. And just when you think you've got it, bam, he throws in a new condition, a little asterisk on the point. It's like getting intellectual whiplash. But here's a game-changing thought. A lot of scholars think what we're reading aren't really books in the way we think of them. They might actually be Aristotle's personal lecture notes. And if you think of it that way, well, suddenly these aren't bugs. They're features, right? You're literally seeing a brilliant mind work through problems in real time. That difficulty? That's the good stuff. It means you're reading something real.
Okay, so we've diagnosed the problem. Now let's talk solutions. It's time to build your philosopher's toolkit. We're going to get you the right habits so you can walk into these texts with total confidence.
And this is maybe the most important thing I'll say today. Reading philosophy is not an IQ test. It's not about how smart you are. It's a skill. And just like playing the guitar or learning to code, it's something you can get good at with the right habits. It's all about strategy, not just brain power.
All right, let's get to the main event, the core of what we're talking about today. I'm going to give you 5 specific, actionable habits that are going to totally transform how you read Aristotle. Okay, here's the roadmap. We're talking slowing down, looking for definitions, reading the conclusion first, yeah, you heard that right, spotting a classic argument structure, and finally outlining as you go. Let's stick into each one. Okay, number 1, and this is probably the most important. You've got to slow down. Think of it this way. Aristotle isn't writing a pop song with a catchy chorus. He doesn't repeat himself. He says something once, and that's it. He assumes you got it. So your goal isn't to blast through 10 pages. Your goal is to truly, deeply understand one page. Quality over quantity. Big time. Habit number 2. Become a definition detective. If you hit a word like eudaimonia and you're thinking, what on earth is that? I can almost guarantee you he defined it a few pages back. That feeling of confusion? That's not a bad thing. It's actually a signpost telling you, hey, go back and find the definition you skimmed past.
Now for habit number 3. You know that feeling when you're reading Aristotle? It's like his argument is taking you on this long, winding country road. It's scenic, sure, but you have no idea where you're going. It's so easy to get lost.
Well, here's the ultimate hack. Read the end of the chapter or section first. Seriously, know the destination before you start the trip. Once you know where he's going, every single twist and turn on that windy path suddenly makes perfect sense. It's like putting the destination into your GPS before you pull out of the driveway. Okay, habit number 4 is all about spotting a pattern. You'll see this all the time. Aristotle will start by saying, okay, on the one hand, here's what most people think. And on the other hand, here's what the wise people say. He's not just waffling here, this is his genius method. He's laying out all the options, showing he's considered them before he comes in with his own carefully thought-out answer. And last but not least, our 5th habit, make a running outline. And listen, this doesn't have to be some crazy detailed thing. Super simple. What's the main point? What's the argument for it? Did he consider an objection? And what's the conclusion? Just jotting that down helps you see the skeleton of his argument, and it makes it so much easier to go back later and remember how everything fits. All right, so those are the 5 big habits. But beyond that, there are a few, let's call them practical tips that can make your life a whole lot easier.
Basically, you need to use the book itself to your advantage. Pay attention to who the translator is. It matters. Actually read the footnotes. They're there for a reason. When you see an italicized Greek word like polis, take note. And for goodness sake, check if there's a glossary in the back. These aren't extra fluff. They're literally the built-in cheat codes for the book.
Okay, so at this point you might be thinking, wow, that sounds like a lot of work. And you're not wrong, but let's talk about the payoff because it is absolutely worth it.
It really all boils down to this. The difficulty? It's not a bug, it's a feature. The challenge isn't something blocking your understanding. It is the very thing that leads to a deeper, richer understanding. When you wrestle with a text like this, you're not just reading what Aristotle thought. You're learning how to think like a philosopher.
And you know what the best part is? These habits, they're not just for Aristotle. This works for Plato. It works for Kant. It works for pretty much any serious thinker you want to tackle. You now have the toolkit. So the only real question left is, who are you going to read next?